Okay, yeah. So basically, I want to walk through recycling. I think recycling is a lot more complicated than it needs to be. So let's just talk about it. Um, this is the general thing that I think people should know. Little numbers, you've probably seen these before. They're like little rotating arrows. They tell you what type of plastic a plastic container is. So something that I just found out is that most places only accept the first two numbers in their recycling bin. So I don't know why my camera just moved like that, but first two numbers in the recycling bin, like that's crazy. Because the McDonald's cups, this thing right here, and Starbucks cups, and probably a bunch of other fast food chains are PP5, 5 PPs. Okay, pretty gay. 5, and you know what that means? Most places cannot recycle this cup. So I heard that, and I was like, well, F me. I've been washing these things out and throwing them in the recycling bin because they need to be clean for them to be recycled. I feel like such a good person recycling all the time. And then boom, it hit me like a truck. I was like, dude, I wasted so much time doing this. I found out afterwards, like I was just about to record this because I wanted to tell other people. And when I was about to record this, I was like, I might as well look into it a little bit more so I have more of an understanding. Guess what? It changes where you're from, like based on where you're from. And that's probably something most people know. I found out that my place actually does take, so I have waste management. They do take, as far as I can tell, number 5, PP5, baby. Yeah, they do take it, I guess. I mean, it doesn't say their specific recycling numbers, which is really dumb. Like, what's the point of having a rule for recycling like this, like a reference for recycling plastics, if you're not going to list them on your waste website? Yeah, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I can't find them referred. So these are called I've had it on the screen. They're called resin codes. And I don't know why they called it that. A lot of this looks like the companies that make plastic were like, let's make it as complicated as possible so people just don't really care, don't really think about the fact that some plastics can't be recycled, and then they just throw all their plastic in the recycling bin, thinking that they're being, saving the planet, when in reality, most of it can't be recycled. Or most of plastics can't be, at least. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if most plastic can't be recycled, but I know a lot of it can't, okay? So anyway, back to this. So for me, this has pretty good guidelines, like for what can and can't be recycled, but something that kind of slapped me again. I was slapped the first time by the PP5 shit, but this time I'm slapped again because apparently, you can't recycle plastic bags. What do you mean you can't recycle? Do you know how many times I buy a bunch of groceries and I throw all of them bitches in the fucking recycle bin? Like, that's ridiculous, dude. So basically, I've just been like ruining the whole recycling process when I throw those away. And I know I'm not the only person doing that because my parents did that my whole life. My parents recycled all the plastic bags. We thought, oh, we have too many plastic bags, throw them in the recycle bin. Like, we'll recycle them and we feel real good about ourselves today. So I don't know. I think that's just ridiculous. Apparently, they get tangled in equipment and threaten worker safety. Like, I don't know how it works, but I feel like it's kind of crazy that we have such an advanced society and we can't make these plastic bags safer to recycle. But whatever, like if they actually threaten worker safety, then I get it. But it's still frustrating. It's like, okay, there's apparently ways to recycle them, but you have to go out of your way to do it. And I think more of me is frustrated that I've been doing it wrong this whole time. So whatever. I mean, I guess I could change now. So yeah, let's walk back through this. Most of the things are actually more recyclable. We're talking about waste management here. More things can be recycled than I thought originally. So basically everything that you are already probably recycling, if you use waste management, is fine. Except plastic bags. And I don't know people that are like recycling plastic. Well, I guess plastic wrap is something that you would kind of think, but nope, you can't recycle that either, buddy. So yeah, I mean, I guess like this foam you can't recycle. That's good to know. Maybe I've tried to recycle that a bunch of times too, so that sucks. Yeah, wow, that's crazy that you can't recycle those. I had no idea. Well, look at that. And then you actually can't put your recyclables in a bag, which makes sense because they don't want the plastic bags. So yeah. And then like tangling items, I guess you can't put hoses in there. I don't know who the hell's putting dirty diapers in the fucking recycle bin. That just feels like a crime. Like it feels like you're doing that just to piss them off. Anyway, household items like random clothes and shit, like uh, garage waste. Like I don't know. These ones are just like, oh, you're retarded. Like read this. But yeah, so that's the general guideline for recycling with waste management. I know this is a huge company, so maybe that is where your recycling is from, but yeah, it's where mine is, and this is good to know. Another thing is this little flyer they have. This is specifically one that they made for my town, so I guess they because like it says in a few of those drop downs on the website. I don't know if I showed them. It says view your local guidelines. So this is the closest thing I got to local guidelines. This was on my city website. Boom, we got the recycling flyer. I don't know, it doesn't really change anything. It's just like all the stuff that I said earlier, and then I guess batteries. Batteries. It's important to know that you can't throw away batteries, or recycle batteries. You should throw them away. Or I guess there's a proper disposal for them. That's not what this video is about, so screw it. Yard waste, yeah, obviously you're not throwing yard waste. Obviously you're throwing food in there. Furniture in the recycle bin. Like, come on, again, it's like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Like, I'm gonna like that's who they think is reading this shit. Like, anyway, that's my spiel on recycling. I think it's fucking stupid, and I think I don't know, it should have been simpler, but what are we gonna do? So, yep. Anyway, bye.